Hi, maybe you've seen one of my videos where I was asking the U.S. Congress for refunds for U.S. taxpayers. And the reason I'm asking for this, and I wanted to make it very clear, is because our U.S. Congress, this is the 119th, so I'm going to start at 118 and go back. You have not protected the investments that we gave to you, and that you had the fiduciary responsibility to make sure that those investments were used wisely and they were used correctly for the betterment of our country. You did not do that. You gave credit cards to illegal immigrants up to $15,000. You paid for housing and for illegal immigrants, whereas our people, Americans, taxpayers, were intense in North Carolina because of their floods, whereas people in Los Angeles lost their homes in fires and you only offered them $700. The same for the people in Lahaina. You offered them $750 as loans. Those people still have not rebuilt their homes. They're still homeless. We have Americans that are homeless because of natural disasters. And then you have the audacity to say to us, people who have trusted you to spend our money, and because of what Elon Musk and his great team of experts have found out, that you have totally mismanaged our funds that we gave to you. And because you mismanaged it, our money, then we're going to ask for part of our money back. Now, there are a lot of people, I've heard several people say, no, we don't want any money back. Then we want you to reinvest it, or we want you to pay down the debt. Let me say, this is my opinion about that. We already gave you our money so we wouldn't have debt. You mismanaged our money. That's something that you did. You allowed globalists to go in and use our U.S. Treasury as if it were their personal bank accounts. You allowed them to misuse all of our federal agencies so that they can do things that were destructive to our country. They gave money to countries all over the world for things that most Americans would never agree to. And because of that, that is why I'm asking for us to get refunds. These are not dividends, and dividends are going to come from profits that a company makes or whatever. And we know that right now we have a deficit of almost $2 trillion, and our national debt is $36 trillion. But because of that, I am not looking at it as a dividend. I am looking at it as a refund, and the refund is because you must be held accountable. We gave you our money. We trusted you to invest it wisely. Instead of you investing it wisely, what has happened? We're seeing all of these congressmen and women who have been there, some of them a very short period of time, 2 years, some of you for 30 years, and you're now multimillionaires. You get to determine when you get pay raises. We're not so fortunate. Therefore, because of your lack of responsibility, this is us holding you accountable. And so there are some people that do not want refunds. That's totally up to them. I think the IRS could allow them to say, I want to opt out of a refund. I want my money to go to pay off the national debt. But until we see that you are responsible enough so that we do not incur that debt, that level of debt, and the debt is continuing to rise, until we see that you are responsible enough to not let people use our U.S. Treasury as their own personal bank accounts, we're going to say we want some of our money back. The same thing that you would say to a child if you give a 12-year-old some money and the 12-year-old spends all their money on games and you told them to go buy some shoes. It's the same thing you would do with that person. You did that to us. You put us in this situation. You allowed them to misuse our national, all of our treasury, our U.S. Treasury, our U.S. organizations, and our U.S. Agencies. You did that. We did not do that. And so for that reason, I am asking for some of our money back. I really am. And I am not asking for $5,000. I don't know where that came from. I am not asking for $5,000. This is something that I'm willing to negotiate with President Trump because he did not do it. He did not do it. Neither did Elon Musk. So I'm asking for more than that. And I'm not going to stop asking.